Shubhodaya, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining. We have been covering the Bhakti series, the Bhakti Yoga, and everyone is devoted. Everyone does action. Everyone has knowledge, and we don't call these as the Bhakti Yoga or Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga. Everyone is devoted. I am devoted to something, devoted to my work, my business, or my family, or my friends. And it is not called as Bhakti Yoga. And I am so busy in my work, and morning till evening I work. Some tradie, he was saying that he works on the weekend also, in the night also he works. Almost he works around 18 hours a day. And we don't call that one as a karma yoga. And everyone has a knowledge of something, how to repair a television or work on a software and develop a web page, and how to cook cake, different shapes of cakes. And we don't call this one as a jnana yoga. And karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, you call that one as a yoga when you do it for the benefit of the welfare of others. In all the other cases, that only the selfish motive is there, only I-centered. I am working 18 hours, 20 hours a day, and I have so much of information, or so many devoted to many things, and because only I am the focus. When the focus changes from me to the benefit of the others, then it is called as yoga. Bhakti yoga, whatever you do, it is for the welfare of the others, welfare of the society, then it is called as yoga. It is bhakti yoga, karma yoga or jnana yoga. This is illustrated in Mahabharata story. In Udyoga Parva, and after Virata Parva, Pandavas successfully completed 13 years of exile, and Duryodhana started arguing. They did not complete, and we found them. Though Bhishma and Dronacharya told him that they have successfully completed, Duryodhana said he won't part away with the kingdom. He won't give. They should go back to exile for another 13 years. And then Sri Krishna sent a messenger, family priest, to Dhritarashtra's court, and asking him to convey the message. There is no more negotiation. We don't want to negotiate any longer. Whether it is give the kingdom, our kingdom back, or be ready for the war. Dhritarashtra, and he said, I will think over it and let you know. And then that when the message was conveyed, then Pandavas knew, now there is no alternative. Let us fight for our rights. We gave the chance, and he wrongfully acquired. Now he is not giving. So Yudhishthira said, we are preparing for the war. Let us seek the blessings of Sri Krishna. We want him to be on our side. So he sent his messenger Arjuna to Dwaraka, where Sri Krishna was there. You, as our messenger, go and request Sri Krishna. And Duryodhana, very shrewd king, he came to know that Arjuna is going to Dwaraka. Even he also set out. And though he started late, Duryodhana managed to go to Dwaraka before Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna deliberately, and he pretended as if he is sleeping, and he kept two chairs, one near the feet, one near the head. Duryodhana reached there first, and he saw Krishna was sleeping, and he thought to himself, I am Raja Raja, King of Kings. Why I should sit near his feet? And Duryodhana, for that matter, he never had won any battle, any war. And only through cheating he ascended to that position. But still he thought he was a Raja Raja. I don't want to sit near his feet. And he sat next to his head. And Arjuna came later, and he did not sit with the folded hands. He stood there. And Sri Krishna and Duryodhana thought Sri Krishna is sleeping. And the Lord, Arjuna knew Lord will never sleep. And the Duryodhana's assumption, Lord sleeps, whereas Arjuna, he knows Lord never sleeps. When Lord woke up and he saw Sri Krishna, Arjuna first, and he also acknowledged Duryodhana and asked for their why they came, and they said, war is imminent and we want you to be on our side. Sri Krishna said, and I cited Arjuna first, moreover he is younger than Duryodhana, I will give him an option. I will give two options. One, I will give myself. I will come onto your side. I alone will come. I won't carry any weapons. I won't fight the battle. I will come there. Or an alternative option I will give 1 million troops, battalions, fully equipped, fully trained, with all weapons. I will give them. You choose which one you want. And Arjuna said, I want you alone, nothing else. You being on our side, that itself, it is the blessing. And Duryodhana immediately jumped into joy, and he said, I want your 1 million troops with fully fledged. And with joy, over again and again said, I wanted that one. And Sri Krishna said, so be it. And Duryodhana went back very happily. He thought, Krishna is a fool, and he did not know my intention. Such a simple person, and I managed to swindle him. I managed to cheat him also. And Sri Krishna, then Arjuna was there. How foolish you are. I gave you two options. You chose me instead of him, instead of my 1 million battalion. It's how stupid. I gave you the first choice also. He said, Arjuna said, I know who you are. Don't argue about this one. I want only you. And that is a quality of a devotee. Devotee never asks, devotee asks only for the God, only for God, not from God. What I will get? I will go to temple and I will pray for, may I get a good job, may I have a good business, may my children get educated well, and may my children get married well, and only I am circling, and my business, my dealing with why I am going to the temple, why I am going to the place of worship, I am doing a business with God. He is my business, and I am the business transaction. I come to the temple or place of worship. I do some certain things. I go to pilgrimage. Why? I give you some donation. In return, you give me something back. I am in a business transaction. I give something, you give back. My dealing is only that one. Business dealing, my dealing is only I give something, you give in return. The moment I do not get what I want, I am so furious. This God is useless. I change my faith. I change my religion. I change this one. I want God to listen, do what I want. And it's I want something, he has to do that one. The moment I am not getting, I am not interested in that God. I am not getting interested in that God. Mine is only a business transaction with God. And most of us are like that. And after the war, the Dhritarashtra, in the all 100 children of Dhritarashtra, when they were killed, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari, Duryodhana's parents, they started criticizing Shri Krishna. You are so God, omnipotent. This war had happened because of you. You could have stopped the war. Because of you, my children were destroyed. My army were destroyed. Most of us, 99.9999% of us, are blaming the God if things doesn't go as we want. We blame them. We blame, and if it's why God did that one, why God this one. If things has to happen according to my wish, if it is not happening, he is responsible. God is a cheat and cannot be trusted. My devotion is only that one. As long as things are happening as I want, I am devoted. I am a great devotee of the God. I am a great devotee. The moment things are not going as planned, then I have nothing to do with that God. I have nothing to do with that God. And in the devotee, the rare devotee is the one who abides by the will of the Lord. He or she doesn't have any preference. Whatever happens, God knows what is best for me. Has a full faith. Whatever is happening in my life, it is God knows what is best for me, and I don't know what I want in my life. Now I want this one. After few days, I want something else. My liking changes. My desire changes. I don't know what I want in my life, and I wanted that one. When I get that one, I am disappointed. And that's a devotee is the one, and the full conviction to the Lord. Whatever is happened, it is your prasad, it is your grace, and that one, and that is the quality of a devotee that Mahabharata, Sri Vedavyasa is bringing out that one. We want to become a devotee of the highest class, not a business transaction. It's a conditional devotee. I am a conditional devotee. As long as I am getting what I want, I am devoted. I am devoted. I am a great devotee of that Lord. Why He is giving whatever I want. And I want a slave, I treat God as a slave. He is the one who does whatever I want. I treat him as a slave. That is not a devotee. That is not in Bhagavad Gita. Sri Krishna in the 12th chapter, it talks about Anapeksha Shuchir Daksha Udasino Gatavyataham Sarvaramba Parityagi Yomad Bhakta Same Priyaham. Anapeksha, the devotee is the one has no personal desire. Nothing. Whatever God is giving, satisfied with that one. Never argues that one. Why did you do that one? Whatever, I did my job. The outcome is not mine, it is your grace. Whatever you are giving, that is the prasada. I will do my best. But the outcome, I won't brood on that one. Anapeksha, always alert. Always alert in the life, leading a pure life. Shuchir Daksha, Udasino Gatavyataha. Whatever happened in the past, what will happen in the future? Not worried about that one. Whatever happened. It's God's grace. I thought about that one, I did that one, God gave me the mind to do that one, not taking responsibility of some failures or future anxious. What will happen? What will happen? He will look after. God will look after what is when He is looking after the whole universe. Won't He look after me also? Gatavyataha sarva aramba parityagi, and giving up the hankering and the notion of I did that one, and notion of this one, because of me this yoga is running, because of me that is running, my business is running, my family is running, my company is running because of me. No, it's a ego on that one. Sarva aramba parityagi, that type of devotee is very dear to me. And Bhakti Yoga slowly training us to become something special, something extraordinary, something unique person, someone unique in the community. Bhakti Yoga slowly trains us to become someone special in our life.